Pretty much the first one and the second one, they've switched off their lights, so booting sequence is getting near its completion. Stack ID 18 is the default stack ID on boot up, so you don't need to worry about that until they boot up. They'll change the stack IDs once they actually do. And the stack ID with an H is master and H small is slave. So H capital is master basically. And here's the final boot sequence. You notice the stack ID is still 18. Now they'll switch over. Still testing all the LEDs, testing the ports, basic part of the boot sequence. And then shortly they should change. And there you go, the top one is H, so it's master. The bottom one is also capital H, so they're both master, and the stack ID is 1 because they're not connected to each other. So they're basically stack ID 1 and master. So now if we configure them, we can have a look at the configuration. And these are standard $40 D-Link 10 gig SFP brand. And these are cheap Chinese clones. And you can basically, when you want to slide them in, you basically unlatch the thing. So we just flip open the latch, and here you go, flipped open the latch. And then when you put in the fiber optic cable, this latch will lock securely. So flip open the latch, slide it in, it locks, it'll click in place even with the little end latch disconnected. So we do the same thing for the other one. And slide it in nicely until it clicks. There you go, don't latch it. You want it unlatched until you got the fiber optic cable in. And now we just take the fiber optic cable in, slide it in, and that little groove on the fiber optic cable will engage the latch and it'll click securely in place. So it slides in only one way, nice connectors, clicks into place. There you go, second one, slide it in, click into place. You can see green link lights on both of them. And so far it's not yet a stack because they still have to negotiate with each other, but they've got a 10 gig link between each of them. So we have 10 gigs, they're starting to negotiate, they're detecting each other, data traffic passing between them. And they're basically checking each other's, and that's it. So that one has become number 2, and it's become small h, which means it's a slave, and it's basically resetting itself. And the master stays unchanged because it's the stack master. And here you go. They pretty much organize themselves into master and slave. So let's wait for this thing to complete. And it's completing. And you can see those little plugs that I removed from the bottom ones, they're just little plastic squares. You can just remove them, plug them back, basically just to avoid dust getting into the switch ports, SFP ports. Here you go. So now we have both switches booted up.